welcome you to Phillies Post Game Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Ricky Batalico, Ruben Amaro Jr., I'm Michael Barkan, John Kruk in a moment. 10-1 Phillies. You saw the full force of the Philadelphia Phillies offense, the defense, the lockdown defense, as they take care of the Los Angeles Dodgers, the team with the second best record in the National League. Are you kidding me? Piece of cake, Ricky Bo.
I don't know about a piece of cake.
Come on.
Phillies ran into the right pitcher at the right time. I mean, Miller came into this game, was not throwing the ball well on the road, and the Phillies made him pay. And they made him pay early, often, and more often, and then more often than that. And, the Phillies used the long ball, but the bottom three in the lineup, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, 7 for 9, Michael?
7 for 9. 7 runs
7
scored.
runs and 3 RBIs. That's from your 7, 8, 9 hitters. You get 7 runs from them, you're going to blow a lot of teams out.
Yeah. How about, speaking of blowing teams out, how about Zach Wheeler while he leaves with back stiffness? We'll hear from Rob Thompson on that. We hope, we pray that it's nothing more than a little back stiffness, but he pitched very well tonight, Ruben. ERA goes down. He came in at 2.74 already.
Yeah, he was very pumped up in the very first hitter of the game when he kind of blew up Shohei Ohtani. But, he sort of steps up for these games. He's the best pitcher in baseball, I believe. If there's one guy that you needed to win a baseball game with, it would be Zach Wheeler for me. And I'm talking about across the board. He obviously set the tone for this ball club, gets a couple of strikeouts there, gets another couple of strikeouts later on in the next inning. And he really did set the tone. Whenever you get that kind of quality starting pitching, it gives the guys a chance to get on attack. And then the boys just did their work with the bats. Great team win, which almost every single game you see a team win out of the Phillies, and this is another one.
Let's go across the street, check in with John Kruk, who called tonight's game with Tom McCarthy. There he is for the crossover in the press box. John, there's so many things you can say about this game. What part of it impressed you in particular when you think we're getting the studs back, at least 2 out of the 3 of them that are out, and what that meant to the lineup?
Well, it just makes the lineup deeper. We talked about it in the second inning, I believe. A couple of days ago, Brandon Marsh was hitting cleanup. Now he's hitting 7th. That's because of Kyle's back and Bryce's back, and it just makes the lineup that much longer. And when you're scoring from the bottom of your order like the Phillies did tonight, the way they hit the ball, the way they ran the bases, you should beat teams pretty badly. And that's exactly what the Phillies did tonight to this team.
John, when you looked at this game, I heard you guys early on. Number one, when the Phillies were getting on base, they were stealing bases at will against Bobby Miller. So, number one, they had something on them in that aspect. And it was almost kind of like, okay, let's wait for a mistake pitch and things are going to go haywire for this kid. And that's exactly what happened. How did you like the approach of the offense?
Well, I love it. Even though the Phillies are capable of hitting the ball out of the ballpark like they did tonight, they still have that threat of running also, and they know how to steal bases. And, they had to see something with Miller. Marsh took off before he barely came set, and Marsh took off, and then Trey did the same thing. And, I think that's the way you have to approach teams. When you're playing good teams like the Dodgers, you got to put the pressure on them. And the Phillies offense tonight put pressure on Miller. I don't think he handled it well. And, and then, of course, he started making mistakes, and the Phillies capitalized on those mistakes from him.
Yeah, John, this team typically does not get real pumped up for any type of series. They take one game at a time. Do you think they had a little bit of chip on their shoulder playing in this particular game and in this series?
Yeah, Ruben, I think losing 2 out of 3 in Atlanta after winning the first game, I think that really bothered this team, to be honest with you. But you could just go to the first at-bat of the game. Shohei Ohtani's, a generational talent that, none of us have ever seen before. And I don't think we were around when Babe Ruth was pitching and hitting. Michael might have been, but I don't think the rest of us were.
You were number 3.
But, yeah. No name on it. Well, he first started with no number, right. Michael, back then.
Then he went
you
to
remember
3.
that
Called
well.
a shot, yeah.
Yeah, you remember that well. But I don't even know what the hell we were just talking about.
But no, what the hell was he talking about?
But no, the first batter of the game, and Zach gets 2 strikes on him, and he pumps 98 up and in to strike him out. Yeah, you don't think Zach Wheeler was excited about that first at bat? And I think You know, look, if Ohtani goes deep the first batter of the game, you got to think, oh, boy, you know, this ain't a good start, which it isn't. But, you know, when Zach was firing in the first inning like that, he was juiced up for this game. And I think the offense just said, you know what, if our ace is going to dial it up like that, we better join him. And, man, it was fun to watch.
Sure was. John, going forward, what are we to expect? How do we observe this team right now without Harper and certainly without still Real Muto, without Schwarber? They get those guys back. It's been a mediocre record, certainly, since London. Now they get the horses back, at least 2 out of the 3 that were out. 5 games remaining till the All-Star break. And by the way, Bryce Harper says, yes, I am playing in the All-Star game, which is all well and good. What are your thoughts now about this team that looks like they will pick up and move it?
Well, I think that they're going to finish this half strong up until the All-Star break. You know, win tonight. You got 2 more with the Dodgers and then 3 with Oakland. But I think the biggest thing you take out of this game tonight, Bryce's first at bat had to run hard to first. He came out, hamstrings fine. Kyle hit a base hit and thought he could. I don't.
What the heck happened with that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Tried going for a double.
Watching it, we couldn't believe.
Yeah, I'm trying to be nice, but it wasn't a bang play at second, but his groin was fine, and I think that's the biggest thing to take out of it. And you know, I can tell you when your two of your bigger horses are out of your lineup, and then they come back, it gives everyone a lift. So you know, there's always a little. It seemed like to me there's always a little drag right before the All-Star break. Because you're looking like, okay, we got 5 more games, 6 more games, and then we get, you know, unless you're playing the All-Star game, you know, you're going to get 4 or 5 days off. Go see the family, go home, you know, recharge and all that. But I think getting Bryson and Kyle back tonight, I think that started the recharge process for these guys because now we got our studs back.
Yeah, and that was evident tonight in a 10-1 win. All right, John. Thanks so much for joining us. By the way, I thought Gehrig was just batting 4th was amazing, wearing number 4, right behind Ruth. Just a thought.
The Lou Gehrig guy?
Lou Gehrig.
Yeah. Have a good night, Crucky.
All right, Crucky. Still there?
I got to send him away.
I don't get it, John. We don't get it either.
All right.
Good luck, you guys. Good luck. Good luck. Ruben and Ricky, good luck with that guy tonight. Holy
5
heck.
more minutes.
We got to get him out of there. We got to get him out. All right, John.
Bye, Johnny.
Thanks so much. Ricky, see you later. Thanks. It bears mention, Ricky, I know you stayed in the studio. Ruben and I went over. Ruben, we weren't together when all this happened, but it felt like a playoff atmosphere. That's a cliche phrase. I understand it, but it really felt like October on July the 9th, and it was amazing, the din that was created over there by the fans when that shot went out.
Well, there's no question in my mind, Michael, that this fan base, it can create an atmosphere for another club that's not real fun to play in. And I know Miller has not thrown well, as Ricky said, on the road, but it makes it a little even tougher when you don't have your stuff and you're facing this kind of lineup with these people in the stands, with this kind of support. It's a fun thing to watch, and this team and this fan base, they've gelled really, really nicely together.
A guy who throws 98 miles an hour with his fastball should be able to do better than that. I'm sorry. And he has breaking pitches to go along with it, so he has a repertoire. It's all about, we watch Zach Wheeler, and we're lucky because we see a guy that throws on both sides of the plate, up above the zone when he needs to. But he throws a lot of strikes, but they're quality strikes. You see what happens when you don't throw quality strikes? You get peppered all around the ballpark. You're walking people. Things go wrong.
Yeah, and part of this is that he's coming off a right shoulder issue that he had for probably a couple of months, and I still think he's sort of building his arm strength. The last thing that you get, I think, is the tightness of your breaking stuff and your ability to command those pitches, and I think he's still fighting it. And the Dodgers have a real issue with their starting pitching right now. I mean, their starting pitching has really struggled over the last month or so, and when you start separating the 2 great teams in this league, and it's the Phillies and the Dodgers, and the big separator for me is that starting pitching.
Yeah, in that time, they are now 7th from the bottom in that span you spoke of in Major League Baseball. The other thing is you look at Bobby Miller. He comes in with an ERA of just over 6, which, yes, is a major struggle, but he goes out with an ERA over 8 thanks to the Philadelphia Phillies. Here's Rob Thompson on this win tonight.
Well, we had that long bottom of the fourth where we scored 6 runs. They made a pitching change. He sat for a long time and his back just tightened up a little bit. So got him through the 5th and got him out precautionary. We'll check him again tomorrow. I'm assuming he will, yeah. But we'll know more tomorrow. We didn't even get x-rays on him, so he's going to be fine. Yes, that was just score. Oh, well, yeah, the hand is fine. I took him out just because of the score.
With Hopper and Schwarber back, the bottom of the order tonight was really productive. Was it a case of guys just kind of dropping back down in their normal slots a little bit, especially with Marsh?
I think so. It was good to see Marsh and Stott, drive the ball a little bit today, and because they've been grinding a little bit. But yeah, I think just pushing those guys back down makes the lineup so much longer. Takes a little heat off them, But I thought our at-bats were really good today. Trey's grand slam, just kind of gave us some distance there, so it was good.
Should think of Harper running out of the line in the first inning. He said before the game he was going to kind of play it safe.
Yeah.
Didn't really do that.
No, that was the fastest he ran all year down first base. So that's why you have to be careful.
While the outcome tonight was obviously something that you liked very much, winning 10-1, Bryce wasn't the only player you subbed out at some point in the game because of the score and the weather. How difficult is it to play in very uncomfortable weather like that for almost 3 hours?
It's tough, because they sweat a lot and they make sure they got to stay hydrated and so they don't risk injury, especially pulled muscles, because that's when it happens. So it was good to be able to get those guys out of there. And I was trying to get Casti out, but once Rojas got hurt or got hit, and I had to get him out, Casti had to stay in. But that was going to be Castellanos' last inning until that happened.
This is one of the best pitchers in baseball. You have to be awfully careful with him. I know he's scheduled to pitch the Sunday before the All-Star break. We'll see how he feels tomorrow.
All right, let's hear from him right now. Zach Wheeler a few moments ago in the clubhouse.
Pop says it's nothing serious.
Yeah. I mean, they just tightened up on me a little bit, and we're up. So just playing it safe and just going from there.
Do you think, say, Sunday you could pitch? Is that your feeling, or?
Yeah, that's our goal.
Okay.
Is it just the waiting, the long inning, the wait, that half inning?
It's bothered me here and there a little bit lately, but yeah, I mean, just the long inning and probably the heat, but yeah, I mean, things happen. So.
Up until that Biggio homer, what did you think about your overall stuff tonight?
Yeah, velo wasn't necessarily there. Some, I mean, it was there some, but it wasn't there some. So I feel like I was kind of just cruising, but when I needed to reach back, I could. This Biggio, I just fell behind. I just threw a middle fastball, and he hit it for a home run. So.
With it bothering you a little bit lately, how mindful or concerned are you about it going forward?
I don't know. I mean, we just got to take it day by day and just see how it goes. Like I said, just tighten up on me a little bit, but I don't know. I plan on making my next start. So.
How long would you say it has bothered you?
Probably the last 2 starts. So.
Did you do it? Did you feel like you did anything? You felt something, or just tight?
Landed kind of hard here on the mound before we left for that road trip, and just tightened up on me then, and just had to, deal with it and treat it a little bit here and there, but just tighten up on me a little bit.
What's it like having Bryce and Schwarber back? And the lineup has a different look to it, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, it just adds the depth to it, and those guys are, 2 of the best hitters in the league, I think. So to have those guys in your lineup is great. It's Shorey, came out and did his thing tonight. So all the hitters did. We played some good defense behind me, and bullpen picked me up. So it's a good team win.